Yeah, this game was me kind of never really knowing what to do as Viego.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to give you kind of like the benefit of the doubt when it comes to like Viego mechanics, but I'll still be hard on you in terms of like jungling. Because the main thing that's kind of important is that you can play the jungle role no matter what champion you play. This game, it seems like you did win, you played consistent, you went 6-2-6, but you just didn't have a big impact, and that's what I'm gonna look at.
Yeah, I didn't do anything until I think mid to late game, and that was
Yeah,
me kind of just cleaning up fights. I think
yeah.
it's I think my bot lane pretty much carried
Hmm.
this entire game.
So I'm gonna ignore the clear. There is a lot that you have to work on with the clear, but because you might not even play Viego in the future, we're not gonna waste time on it. But if you are interested in like learning a new champion and they're clear, you definitely want to look at those like YouTube videos that go really in depth for the fastest clear speed. Um, so you're kind of missing a little bit of that, so you can always make sure to check on those. So after you do double golems, raptors, so you're opting into the playing to the top side here. Now, in this situation, what makes you think? Let's ignore the fact that before this you only started bot. What makes you think that it's good to play to top versus bot? Like, what are the pros and cons?
Pros, not taking into consideration that it's an Alawi, it's a Vayne. If Vayne gets rolling, that's very scary for the enemy team.
Yep.
Taking into consideration that it's an Alawi and I play a lot of Alawi, 1v2, 1v3, 1v4, monster.
Yep. But not in the early game.
No,
But
not in the early
yeah.
game, but it's not very difficult to pilot Alawi and to be able to pull off 1v2s and 1v3s. Yeah, this is kind of like, I think I'd said before we started this that like I definitely need to learn more about pathing, because it's like when I start blue side, I start red and go up. When I start red side, I start blue and go up. Kind of just like, kind of, it's just what I'm like comfortable doing. It's less of me like actually thinking about where do I actually need to be.
Yeah. So here are the pros to going top. You're covering Vayne. Vayne is a carry. He's gonna push. You know Vayne's gonna push. You can cover him because you know the enemy jungler is probably just gonna try to gank him. So you can counter gank. That's the pro, is you play for the counter gank. Right? What are the cons? The con is that you probably can't gank this guy because he's gonna be pushed under his tower. You probably can't really dive this guy because Zach will probably be there. The con is that you are not going to be able to go into the other lanes because you have the counter gank.
Because Vayne is going to give Alawi exactly what Alawi wants in lane, which is to sit in that, like where she is back, like her third of the map where she has tentacles set up where she can just poke you down with E. Like that's exactly where she wants to be. How do I in this game, like not right now because she's level 2, but like if Vayne's in a tough spot, how do I get Vayne out, or is it just F the Vayne?
So there's two ways you can play this. First way, which is we went over the pros and cons of playing to Vayne. The second way is to F Vayne, and the pro to starting top and playing bottom is you have gank setup. You can dive, you can gank, you can fight. The only con of playing to bot lane is that your Vayne might get gamped,
Is
and
that Vayne's gonna run it?
yeah, and Vayne might run it.
It's over.
Yeah. So you have to weigh the pro and cons. Like, okay, do I want the enemy to have a fed jungle top, or do I want to have a fed jungle top, but I'll have a fed, bot side? Or do I want to just have an even bot side? These guys are not really going to get ganked. They have no CC setup, but I'll have a kind of like just an even top lane because I'm going to counter gank. I'm just going to make Zac scared. Maybe I'll even just like go into Zac's jungle and just like scare him off with my Vayne. So those are the type of things that you want to think about.
Okay.
So in this situation, what I would recommend you to do is you're not at the point where you know how to kind of play to cover lanes yet. You're at the point where you just think of, okay, let's just gank lanes and get our lanes snowballing. You're also not at the point where you can trust lanes to like play the kind of like play safe style anyway. So
Yeah.
so your goal might just be to just get so fed on the one side of the map that it doesn't matter how bad this guy might get camped.
Okay.
So yeah, I would path bomb this game. Now, if this was a game like if in my elo, I would probably go top. I would play like, I would start like red. I would do like blue Gromp. Then I would invade the Zac, scare the Zac off from like doing anything on my Vayne. That's how I would play it. But how you should play is go bottom.
So when you're going in to kind of piss the Zac off, are you hoping to pull the Alawi into their top jungle to allow Vayne to crash the wave so she can get a base? Or is that just because you want to slow Zac down?
No, it's not. It's not because Alawi. I'm trying to pull Alawi. It's because I just want to slow Zac down from ganking top. The Alawi should never even walk to me, because if she ever does walk to me, I will just walk away.
Sure.
Yeah, and then Alawi would just lose her lane. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you for the sub, Bunny. I appreciate
That's
it.
something I don't do. So basically what I'm getting so far is actually turn my brain on and think more, which makes sense because jungler like support is more of like a cerebral role.
Yep.
And I never know when to like invade jungle or like go into like, if we watched every one of my VODs, like you will never see me going in and like messing with the jungle early.
So here, if you ever want to play for counter gank, like on Vayne, you have to go earlier. So, for example, you probably go after you finish blue buff here. It's really likely that junglers tend to gank after their buffs, so you just predict the gank timer.
Okay. That way I could have been there.
Yep.
I would have been level 3 as well.
Yeah.
So then we could fight it out. Or at least get Vayne out and then I can get out. I feel like we may have been able to get a kill on Zac if I went.
So we double scuttled here. Not too bad. Vayne is getting camped as we kind of feared, but
Hard camp this game.
But he's doing good. He didn't die yet. Yeah, he's doing good. Didn't die yet. So here the pathing is a little bit weird. You're looking for a mid gank, right? But the issue is you didn't sweep the vision, and he's so close to his tower. So yeah.
I think when I went kind of into their jungle a little bit a few seconds ago, I saw that Aurelia was kind of pushing Vex that way, and I didn't know if I was kind of hoping Aurelia would push Vex into the jungle. That's why I went up there so then we could collapse under
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
But that's probably not remotely likely to happen.
Yeah. This is just a Viego specific. Well, not really Viego specific, but you should use your flash to extend your gank range. So right here, you actually can get the Vex with Viego W flash.
I think I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, let's see. W flash, nice. That's clean.
But I should have done it sooner.
Yep, that's clean.
And then
The sooner you do it,
Aurelia.
yeah, the sooner you do it, the farther, or the sooner you do it, the farther he is from his tower. That's why he was so close to his tower there. Good dragon. Then we have winning bot.
Hard stuff.
So I think the main thing this game is that
Killing spree.
it feels as if you don't have very many gank opportunities. Alright? You can feel that. Compared to last game. Like when you're playing Zac, you have so many gank opportunities. This game, it feels like you don't have too many gank opportunities. And so in games that you don't feel like the enemy is pushing a lot, here's how you want to play the game. You want to use the priority to get the objectives, or use the priority to kind of like force dives. So for example here, in this situation, you can look at your teammates. Okay, my Varus is really fed. I'm gonna do top lane camps. I'm gonna do Raptors. I'm gonna run bottom. After my camps, I'll probably be like on this wave here. You want to dive when the wave is big or on a cannon mini wave. You go around, you go here, and then you dive. This is if you have a winning lane. Now, if you don't have a winning lane where the enemy is pushing, that's last game. You just gank. Very simple, right? But sometimes junglers get lost when it feels like no one's pushed up. But that's actually not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It means that you have a winning lane. So you have a winning lane bot lane. They're just pushing a ton. You can just dive.
Okay.
So it's as simple as that. And you just have to make sure that you have a tank that can dive. We do have one here, Leona. Yep. So here, these guys should die here. They might even die 2v2. Oh, actually, no, they don't. But yeah, that would be the thought process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to. I really don't know what I was doing up there. Just default to clearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Maybe it's just because I'm not very comfortable with Viego. Obviously, maybe it's why I kind of wasn't looking to just go back, like to go into his jungle and gank, knowing that they're clearly shoving them under turret.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, now you do have the kind of like the eye opener from the situation, so you'll be able to practice this, and so that's going to be kind of like the focus, which is making sure to kind of like, as you'd said, like turn on your brain as you're clearing. So yeah, that'll be the main focus, is just kind of like trying to predict your next play.